The following is the inquiry concerning the bliss, Brahmananda Rasa. Suppose there be a youth, good, well versed in the scriptures, well disciplined, resolute and very strong, to him belongs all this earth full of wealth. This is one unit of human bliss. This, unit of bliss, of man multiplied hundredfold is the bliss of human Gandharvas, and this is also the bliss of one well versed in the Vedas and who is free from desires. Let a Brahmana, an aspirant, after he has examined the worlds gained by karma, acquire freedom from all desires, reflecting that nothing that is eternal can be gained by karma. Let him, in order to obtain the knowledge of the eternal, take sacrificial fuel, summit, in his hands and approach that preceptor alone who is well versed in the Vedas and is established in Brahman. Verily, the fruit that accrues to those men of little intelligence is finite. The worshippers of the Devas go to the Devas, but my devotees come to me. Undependable, frail, is this boat of yajna, is said to be manned by 18 supporters on whom depend the lower ceremonials. Those ignorant persons who acclaim this as the highest, are subject, again and again, to old age and death. There is always one higher for everything. Dissatisfaction, discontentment always in human life, no limit for human greed. Bandhakatvam, first I am master, desire is servant, more I enjoy karma phalam, I get used to them. Later they dictate terms, they become master. We travel from dependence to more dependence, not to independence. Number of things we require is more and more among thousands of men, one perchance strives for perfection, even among those successful strivers, only one perchance knows me in essence. The self-existent, Brahma, created the senses with outgoing tendencies, therefore, man beholds the external universe and not the internal self, Atman. But only some wise man desirous of immortality, with eyes averted, turned within and with his senses turned away, from sensual objects, sees the Atman within. Very few understand all karma phalams are defective, endorsed with 3 dashas. No defect-free goal in karma kanda. Vedanta deals with defect-free goal, pure happiness, not happiness mixed with sorrow. But, the man who rejoices only in the self, who is satisfied with the self, who is content in the self alone, for him verily there is nothing more to be done. Principles of knowledge. A. Knowledge requires pramanam, instruments. B. Knowledge requires appropriate relevant knowledge. Pratyaksha, only for objective knowledge. All sense organs turned outward, will objectify only external world. Observer can't be observed through any microscope, telescope. Inference, comparison, absence, presumption based on data from pratyaksham. Inappropriate instrument for self-knowledge. Because when there is duality, as it were, then one smells something, one sees something, one hears something, one speaks something, one thinks something, one knows some things. But, when to the knower of Brahman everything has become the self, then what should one smell and through what should one see and through what should one hear and through what should one speak and through what should one think and through what should one know and through what? Through what should one know that owing to which all this is known, through what, O Maitreyi, should one know the knower? Vedapurva deals with anatmalokas, karma phalams. Only Vedanta Shabda is pramanam, mirror for atmajananam, subject, observer, atmasvarapam. Knowing Brahman is attaining Brahman, unique Jnanam. In other fields, know first, attain later, process involved. In Jnanakanda, know first by Sravanam, make knowledge dridham by removing all doubts and misconception about myself by Mananam and Nidadhyasanam. Assimilated knowledge gives nourishment, transforms a person. Why Upanishad Jnanam is a rahasyam, a secret. A. Requires prepared mind as an instrument to receive the knowledge. B. Not easy to find Sritriya Guru who has skill in teaching. 4 Vedas had 1180 secondary branches shakas, each with 1 Upanishad. Now 108 Upanishads available containing the Sara of Upanishads. Shankara has written commentary on 10 Upanishads. Jivatama Paramatma Aikyam is central theme in all the 10 Upanishads. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithyam, Jivo Brihiva Na Paraha. Methodology, Prakriya, Drk Drishayavivka, Sharira Trayavivka, Panchkosavivka, Bhagatyagalakshana. KATHO Upanishad, 2 Adhyayas, 119 verses, Chapter 1-1, 20, Guru, Yamadharmaraja, Sishya, 8 years, Father, Vahasravas, Visvajityaga, all possessions given in charity, in anger, Father utters to Nachiketa, I will send you to Yama. Nachiketa goes to Yama. 3 nights stays without food outside, 3 boons given by Yama lessons, important value, Atiti Devo Bhava, give proper dakshina, Sradha in ritual, Vakya Parapalanam. There is that doubt. When a man is dead, some say he exists and some again say he does not. This I should like to know, being taught by thee. This is the third boon, that I ask. Ephemeral these, O death, these tend to decay, the fire, vigor, of all the senses in man. Even the longest life is indeed short. Let thine alone be the chariots, the dance, and the music. Man is not to be satisfied with wealth. Now that we have seen thee, we shall surely get wealth. We shall also live, as long as you rule. Therefore, that boon alone is fit to be craved, for by me nobody gets contentment with money, no trupti, will ask for more and more, compare with others. Self-knowledge only mean for fulfillment, satisfaction, contentment. He, the self, of whom many are not able even to hear, the recipient, the pupil, many, even having heard of him, do not comprehend. Wonderful is a man, teacher, when found, who is able to teach the self. Wonderful is he, the pupil, who comprehends the self, when taught by an able teacher. This, self, when taught by a man of inferior intellect, is not easy to be known, as it is to be thought of in various ways. But when it taught by another, superior, preceptor who is one with Brahman, who beholds no difference, there is no other way concerning it. The self being subtler than the subtlest and is beyond argumentation. The intelligent Atman is not born, nor does he die. He did not spring from anything, and nothing sprang from him. This unborn, eternal, everlasting, ancient, is not slain even when the body is destroyed. If the slayer thinks I slay, and if the slain thinks, I am slain, then both of them do not know well. This slays not nor is this slain. The Atman that is subtler than the subtlest, and greater than the greatest, is seated in the cavity of heart of each living being. He, who is free from willing and wishing, with his mind and senses composed, beholds the majesty of the self and becomes free from sorrow. To whom the Brahmana and the Kshatriya classes are, as it were, but cooked rice, and death itself is a condiment, curry or pickle, how can one thus know where that Atman is? Beyond the senses are the sense objects, beyond these objects is the mind, beyond the mind is the intellect, and beyond the intellect is the great self, beyond the great, Maha, is the unmanifested, Avyaktam. Beyond the Avyaktam, Prakriti, is the Purasa, beyond the Purasa there is nothing, that is the end, that is the highest goal. This Atman hidden in all beings reveals, itself, not, to all, but is seen, only, by seers of the subtle through sharp and subtle intellect. Arise, awake, having reached the great, teachers, learn, realize that Atman. Like the sharp edge of a razor is that path, difficult to cross and hard to tread, thus say the wise. He, who has realized that, Atman, which is without sound, without touch, without form, without decay, and also without taste, without smell, without beginning, without end, beyond the Maha, great, eternal, and unchanging, is freed from the jaws of death.